Okay, so let's do this first. The parts of the spinal cord. So you have here this. Oh my goodness! What the heck are you doing? Oh my god. Okay, so this is the spinal cord. Okay, this is the spinal cord. Actually, from here, this is the spinal cord. And then if you look at the tip, the end of the spinal cord, it forms this cone. Okay, yes, conus medullaris.
Yeah.
Now, what anchors this conus medullaris inside? Yes, the filum terminale. You see this one strand here? Again, it's connective tissue. And it anchors your spinal cord down to the pelvic cavity so that it's not just moving inside. It keeps it in place. Okay? And then this is the cauda equina, this group here. The ponytail, the horse's tail. That's what it means. Cauda equina, the horse's tail. Okay? Which starts from here actually, and then it goes down there. These are all nerves. These parts. And then you have the, what else? Sympathetic ganglia. So this is the sympathetic chain ganglia, which is on the right side only. You don't see it on the left side. Remember what a ganglion is? It's a group of cell bodies. So it forms a chain, and you can see it here too. See these enlargements? So it forms a chain. It's supposed to be sympathetic chain ganglia.
So that's what causes the URS, I think that they use for the flight.
Yeah, fight and flight response. So we use that one, and we don't have it on the right side. Okay, and then just jump to this page. You have the 5 parts of your spinal nerves. We have here on the left side, this is the model that we use to count. To identify all the spinal nerves from cervical down to lumbar. You have your C1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just start counting from the topmost. Now on this model on the right side, you don't have C1. It starts with C2. So careful with this model. You only start, even if they label here, start counting on the other side and just compare it side by side. Because we ask you, let's say, what is this spinal nerve? What number? Even for me, again, I can't identify it. Because they all look the same.
So it's just best to count.
Count, yes. Question is, where do you start counting? Yeah, count on the left side. Start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just make sure you know where to count. Use this model. Again, it's not labeled on the website.
So when you start counting from that side, you
This
start
one.
on that first, so that would be 1.
This
above
one
it.
is 1.
Okay.
And then you can start here, but just remember you start from 2.
2. Okay.
And then this one here, what else? So we have 8 cervical, we have 12, we have 5 lumbar. Sacral coccygeal, yeah, it's nice to know, but it's really difficult to identify them already. We don't really ask about those. And then for this model here, you can see at the back, I mean, this one, there's really nothing on top of it. So this is C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then T1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now, for this one, you can see the cervical plexus. The cervical plexus. A plexus is just a group, a lot of nerves all together. Yeah, you can see this. There's a lot of nerves there. That's a plexus. This is a plexus. This is the brachial plexus, brachial plexus. This too is the brachial plexus.
And the intercostal nerves are not part of the plexus.
Exactly. It doesn't form a plexus because you could really see them just individually. Okay? But if you see them in a group, that's a plexus. These are all the intercostal nerves which run in between the ribs. Okay? Now let's look at this one, the last part, page 122. Now we look at the plexus as individual ones. So this is the cervical plexus. This one here is the brachial plexus. Okay, that one. Now for the brachial plexus, ulnar nerve, radial nerve, median nerve. These are the ones we need to identify. And we use the right side because this is in the anatomical position. This is not. You can see the bones, they're crisscrossing. They're crossing over. This is in that prone position, so we don't want to use this. I mean, we could use it, but just remember, it's not in the anatomical position. So this one here, the side of the thumb.
You said use the right side.
Mm-hmm. But if they label this, I'm not sure if they labeled it just to confuse the students. Make sure you know that the left side is not in the anatomical position. So this one here, what is this nerve which runs on the lateral side, the side of the thumb? Radial or ulnar?
Radial.
Radial, yes. So this is the side of the thumb. This too is the radial. Okay? So just remember, that's your landmark if you know where the bones are. Now what about this one on the side of the pinky?
The ulnar.
Ulnar. And the one on the middle is the
median.
medium. And again, I ask the other groups, where does it end? Because what if we point here? So you trace again. Go down. What is this?
The median.
Median nerve. And then what about this one? If we point here, that's the ulnar. Okay? So even if we don't point to the forearm or on the area of the wrist, make sure that they're also the same nerves as you ascend. Okay, this is actually the proximal part. This is where they begin. This is where they end. Next, you have to know which part they innervate. Okay, I actually jumped to the brachial. I forgot about this cervical. This one small thing here that you can see, it's very important. It comes from the cervical plexus, and this is known as the phrenic nerve, which is from C3 to C5. If it's from C3 to C5, it's important because it innervates the diaphragm. Okay?
What was it? C what? The first?
3 to 5. Yes, C3 to 5. And then what else? So you need to know what they innervate. Like the radial nerve, it would innervate the triceps and the brachioradialis. Why am I pointing here? Sorry, this is the radial nerve. It's going to innervate your brachioradialis and triceps. And then for your ulnar nerve, it innervates your flexors. You see here, the ulnar nerve. Flexor for the hands and flexor for the wrist. Okay? I'm sorry, why am I saying median? Median nerve, sorry, I made a mistake again. For the median nerve, it innervates the flexors. You can see it here. Okay. Because the ulnar nerve also does that. Didn't say that anymore. Okay,
Ulnar nerve innervates.
sorry, my
That's
mistake. No,
okay.
just use the list. I was reading from the list. Okay. You can actually see it. You see the median nerve, it goes straight down to the digits. So it innervates the digits, the flexor muscles of the digits, and it's also there by the wrist, so it innervates the wrist. But if you look at the radial nerve here, it innervates the triceps, and it innervates the brachioradialis. Okay? Now let's look at the last ones here, the femoral and the sciatic nerve. Now look at where the femoral nerve comes from. L1 to L4, sciatic nerve comes from L4 to S4. So which one would you find on top of the other? The femoral nerve, because it comes on higher levels of the lumbar. So between 34 and 35, 34 is the femoral, 35 here would be the sciatic. This one too is actually the femoral. How would you remember if it's the femoral? Because it courses through the, it's higher.
Like L.
It's close to the head of the femur. Yeah, it's close to the head of the femur. The problem is if we use this one. This is the femoral nerve. Okay? This too is the femoral nerve. You see both are letter E's. And then this one at the bottom, the biggest one, that's the sciatic nerve. You see how huge it is?
Yeah.
That's the sciatic nerve. And the sciatic nerve here is number 35. Okay? So the question is, what does it innervate? You see, look at the femoral nerve. Just examine the femoral nerve here. It's more anterior, right? This is more anterior. Even this one looks like it's on top of the sciatic nerve. So what will your femoral nerve innervate since it's in the anterior part? Looks like quadriceps, because your quadriceps are on the front, anterior. And then your sciatic nerve, which is at the back here, you can see them at the back, it will innervate the okay? Any questions? Anything else?
Yeah, what's that? What is that?
The intervertebral
Foramen? Intervertebral. Where? Intervertebral foramen is the space in between the two vertebrae.
Oh, okay, it's just the space.
It's the space where, yes, it's the space where spinal nerves exit from.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it?